Hi guys, Ryan here from Renewed Health Supply. Hope you're doing well. I get asked the question often about why we haven't sold a probiotic over the years. In fact, for 18 years of business, we didn't sell a probiotic. And the honest truth is because I really didn't think that there was anything good out there on the market that was capable of being shipped to customers around the country. So at that point, there were a lot of probiotics on the market that had lackluster capabilities, potencies, the right formulations, etc. So I really just stayed out of that space. It just didn't make sense for us to sell it for our customers because we wanted something that was going to be exceptionally good quality. So the knowledge and the science behind probiotics is changing rapidly. To be completely candid with you, it's still somewhat very much an unexplored space. We really don't understand the ramifications of really what's taking place within the bacteria in our own bodies and the complexities of them, from immunological, from neurological, for all sorts of different reasons within the bodies. But we're starting to really understand that, realizing that, in large part, we've done a very good job of keeping people alive by having antibiotics for really severe situations. But as far as kind of understanding the magnitude of benefit to the body on the probiotics, we're really just starting to learn that. So eating things like cultured foods is great. I'm a big fan of kimchi. I eat kimchi all the time. Other folks really like sauerkraut. That's great as well. You can make some of these own things in your own home. But as far as probiotic supplements, we're actually pretty excited to announce that we're carrying a product from Arthur Andrew Medical called Syntol AMD. Here's a picture of what it looks like. So Syntol is kind of an interesting formula. And in fact, we carry it in two different sizes. We carry it in both the 90 caps and as well as the 180 caps. The 180 caps is a much better deal, but it's kind of an interesting thing, especially this time of year when we're running into the cold and flu season, when kids are going to school for the first time. Maybe you get your preschoolers coming home. You know how that is. We do as well. I've got 3 kids myself. So when you think about that, how do I really compound my own health? To stay away from some of those things. Probiotics are a great place to start. So the Syntol product, we like this product for a couple of different reasons. Number one, it's actually not a live culture. What I mean by that is it's in a spore form. In a spore form, think of it like a seed that hasn't quite yet germinated. And so what's interesting about spore form is it's impervious to temperature fluctuations. So you don't need to refrigerate it. It's totally fine sitting here on the back of this chair for the next 2 years or so. It's not going to lose potency. That's really nice. It's also nice because it actually makes it through the digestive system more effectively and populates the gut with bacteria more efficiently than a live form does. Live forms you have to take into account that there's a good portion of that's just going to be killed off by acids in the stomach. Well, the spore forms are more impervious to that, which is great. On top of that, it has multiple different forms of bacteria. So I don't pretend to tell you folks, and I don't think there's anyone out there that legitimately can tell you exactly what the spores and the bacteria need to be specific for you. And we'll probably find out in 200 years from now that, hey, for me versus her versus him, we'll probably get advanced enough in science where we can really understand what's missing from that particular person. But for right now, I like this version because it comes with 8 different probiotics in it. On top of that, it also has something that's very unique, and that is the fact that it has an enzyme blend that is specific for, it really kind of formulated as a yeast cleanse. That's probably the best way to think about it. So this product they use a specific kind of capsule that they refer to as acid armor. They've talked about it on the back of this, back of the bottle, but it's not an enteric coated product. Those have phthalates and some nasty kind of compounds in it that aren't great for regular usage, and a probiotic would be something that you'd be using regularly. But it's really a very thick capsule that doesn't digest in the first 30 to 40 minutes of being in your stomach. It's just thick enough to where it can get through your stomach and into your intestinal tract. And that's important because if it released in your stomach, a lot of those bacteria, even if they are in a spore form, break down in your stomach. You really want to get it into the gut, into the intestinal wall itself, which is great. Now, now going back to the enzyme component, the yeast cleanse component of it as well, there's 6 different enzymes in this that are formulated to release in the intestinal tract that break down different types of bacteria, not good bacteria, but things, yeast cells. Specifically, think Candida. Lots of Americans, for that matter, a lot of people in the Western world just have an overrun of Candida. Not just women, but men can get that as well. So the enzyme components here are things like cellulase. Certainly understand what cellulose is. Glucomylase as well. Serrapeptase, protease. And these things break down the outside wall of those yeasts within the body. This can be caused from having too many antibiotics in the past. It can be caused from alcohol, from breads and glutens and pastas and things of that sort that kind of allow for that to proliferate. And also can be caused from having, candidly, other pharmaceutical drugs in your own daily repertoire that cause that stuff to really feed on it. Sugars as well. Sugars are a really nasty component for feeding the Candida, the yeast in the body. So this is interesting. This formula, Syntol, is interesting because it has both that probiotic as well as the enzyme cleanse in it. And then on top of that, to sweeten the deal even a little bit further, it also has a prebiotic as well, which really lays the landscape. Think of it as almost like a fertilizer for the spores that are in the product to begin with. So the spores become the healthy bacteria in your body. The prebiotic works as the fertilizer to help it grow. And the enzyme formula works to cleanse the body of those yeast. So that's a little bit about kind of the product. As far as kind of how many to take per day, most folks, once they get a healthy kind of biofilm developed within their body, they'll usually take between like 2 and 4 a day. If you want to kind of increase support, you could take 6. And really what they recommend from a therapeutic dose, and this is if you just really never done any of this stuff before, and maybe you're coming off of an antibiotic regimen or whatever, they say 9 to 12 capsules, which is a lot. You certainly want to take that all at the same time, but you do want to take these on an empty stomach. Okay, so you don't want the enzyme blend being there to digest leftover food particles that have made it into your digestive tract. That's money wasted. That's not a good idea. So take it on an empty stomach. But if you're concerned about digestive health, immune health, yeast and fungal infections, you've had antibiotics, and I listened to a show recently on NPR. This is making it in the mainstream. This isn't fringe anymore like back in 1998 when we started in business and nobody knew what we were talking about. In fact, I've been eating organic for like 25 years. And that's when you had to go and you had to look for in a town to figure out if there was any place in town that even sold an organic apple. So, NPR is picking it up and talking about probiotics and the neurological effects and really what's happening in mental health. It's very, very interesting science altogether. We don't need to get into that for the purpose of this conversation. But I hope this helps you a little to understand the product from Arthur Andrew Medical, Syntol AMD. Just in case you're curious, AMD stands for Advanced Mycofloral Delivery. And that's a lot. Final thing, some of you may be asking, what's the probiotic count on this? So probiotic counts can be a little bit misleading. So you need to understand how much active live bacteria is in there, and then how much does that actually translate into growing within your gut, like how much are you actually really going to take in. But you still want to have a number that's significant. I saw somebody recently came from a grocery store and they had a store label probiotic and it had like 50 million counts per capsule. That's nothing. It's not going to do anything to help you. And then I've seen other things that have counts in the billions. So Syntol has 13.8 billion colony forming units for 4 capsules. Okay, that there are products that are higher than that, but it's not apples to apples. And I think that's important to understand. So if you take 4 of these per day, 6 of these per day, some people say that the spore forms versus the live forms can even be 2 to 3 times more potent as far as kind of what the body's really taking in. But since you're going to ask anyways, I should tell you 13.8 billion for 4 capsules. So I hope that helps. Hope you guys have a great day. Feel free to call us if you have any questions about anything we ever sell. Look, we love to talk to people. We're a family-owned business since 1998, and we're small. I'm sitting here in my own home right now filming this video. I hope this helps. You guys have a great day.